this is a full screen mode?
This is full screen mode, yes. I'm going to say hello to everyone who's here on time. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to this webinar hosted by Capital Cell for the fundraise of Hemerion. Thanks, everyone who's on time. And sadly, since not everyone is on time always, we are going to have to give people we're still missing a few people here, so we're going to have to give 3-4 minutes. We're going to have no later than 6:05. We will start with the webinar, where we'll have. So we have with us Maximilien Vermandel, CEO de Hemerion. Bienvenue. Thank you for being here, Max.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm unclear. I can call you Max. Hi, Marc. We also have Marc Armed here.
I need a bit of light, no?
Yeah, or maybe you can turn off your camera for the moment.
Okay.
So is Max okay? Do people call you Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yes, that's my short name.
Okay, sorry. I have this thing where I call everybody by their full name always.
No, Maximilian is fine. Max is very fine.
Good. So thanks a lot. And we also have Marie Bonter, also from the Hemerion team. Thanks a lot. I can say that you're not connecting from the same place, are you?
No, but you can call me Marie if it's faster.
We will. So Max, where are you based? Where are you connecting from?
I'm in Lille, northern France, a city called Villeneuve-d'Ascq, which is very, very near from Lille. And so for the football fan, there is a team in Lille, LOSC, and Lens. I think it's much more known in Europe. So this.
Yeah, I know Lens. They wear the Catalan flag on the shirt, right? Red and
Lens, yes, it looks like it's yellow and red.
It's well, I'm a Catalan. I'm going to assume that this is like a homage for their admiration for
true.
For us. So we also have here Ramon Codina, Chief Operations Officer at Capital Cell. Ramon, hi there. And so Marc Armed, his investor relations boss, who's actually him and I are in two rooms at the same hotel. We are in Bilbao today. So hi, Marc.
Hi,
sure, we're going for a few drinks after that.
You have nice Wi-Fi, eh?
It's not bad. And later we will have the presence of Dr.
Kostas
Agipanais, who will he cannot connect at 6, so he will connect a bit later, 6:20, I think you said.
Yeah.
So first we're going to have the presentation of the company by Maximilien Vermandel, and after that we are going to have the great pleasure actually having Kostas here, who's one of the great authorities in glioblastoma and brain cancer in the US. A very, very impressive CV. We're really delighted to have a scientist of this caliber joining us here. And so since it's almost 6:05, I think we can get started. And people who's late, well, they are late. So welcome everyone to this webinar. This is a session to give you more information about Hemerion, a company that is raising funds through Capital Cell, and which we're particularly proud to support. If you already have checked out some information about the company on our website, you will have seen, particularly if you have browsed other companies, that Hemerion is one of the companies to have received more glowing reviews by our expert boards. Who already told us a few months ago when we started this that we're looking at an extremely promising technology and with a very, very clear path to market. So we're we're delighted that you have chosen Capital Cell to conduct your fundraise. This is also a company that, while we, from the moment we started the analysis to now, have taken giant steps. So patients are now being treated. So the clinical trials for Hemerion and things they're doing with patients are showing, even better results and more promising data than we had when we started. So we're delighted to see that. I'm sure that the shareholders and investors are too. At the same time, the company has been attracting further funds and to the tune of several millions. So we were already very, very interested in holding the fundraise when we started. With everything that's going on now, we are looking at a company with better results and a more secure financial future, etc., etc. And we're really delighted to see the company taking the right steps. Not exactly a surprise for us, because one of the things that really attracted us, and I think any investor to Hemerion, is not just its technology, but also the team behind it. And I can say that in the months we'll be working with you, you guys haven't taken a wrong step. So it is a pleasure working with you, and that surely explains why every month we're getting more and more good news, and not small good news like we've attended a conference, like really serious progress. So from Capital Cell, we're really happy that the fundraise is going very well. It's almost 3/4 complete. There's probably, I don't know the figure exactly, but there's not
almost 900,000.
So there's not that much money left available for investors in the fundraise, and we're hoping that within the next 3 or 4 weeks, you guys will have the money, and we will be on your way. And you can forget about fundraising after that, which is, I know, as a CEO of a company, not having to worry about fundraising really, really frees your hand to do other stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to give the microphone to Max so that he can explain Hemerion to everyone who's here. And after that, Max, it will be yourself who will introduce Costas once he connects, so he can also share his point of view on the company with us. So all yours. I'm shutting up now.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the nice introduction. We are also very happy to work with you. That venture with this journey with Capital Cell is also a very nice way to, let's say, to gather a community around this project, to give some awareness in this pathology that is really, really horrible. So let me share my presentation and just tell me if it's okay in full screen mode again. Okay, thank you. So as you said, I'm Maximilien Vermandel, the CEO and co-founder of Hemerion Therapeutics. Actually, I'm a physicist by training, so I used to work in the hospital, in the University Hospital of Lille. And since we have some pretty good results in the clinical trials we did initially, I left all my academic duty to run Hemerion. So that's how we started 4 years ago. And so we are especially interested in this, as said, horrible disease that is glioblastoma. Glioblastoma is the most common and the most devastating brain cancer. The recurrence is universal. It always occurs within 7 months, and as you can see, the survival is very poor. More than 130,000 people are newly diagnosed with this disease annually worldwide, and the cost of the standard of care is very, really expensive, and that's why we can see some new entrants in the market. But these new therapies come with really hard impact on the quality of life, and so that's why we think we can and we must do better. That's why we incorporated Hemerion Therapeutics now 4 years ago. Basically, this kind of cancer is treated with chemo and radiotherapy that kills cells indistinctly. It kills healthy tissue and cancer cells, and at the end, it leaves some tumor cells in place that are the relapse causes within 6 or 7 months. And that's why we created a new treatment that used first a new molecule that we have designed. This molecule is given to the patient before surgery, and it binds to the tumor cells only. It is eliminated by the LC cells. So this is the first part of our strategy to isolate the tumor cells while sparing the LC tissue. And this specific drugs is sensitive to the light and kill the tumor cells under red light. And so we have also developed a specific technology from laser to be able to activate these photosensitizers, this medicine, in such a way we can kill tumor cell wherever the light penetrates. So that's the main principle. Wherever the light penetrates, we kill only tumor cells. And so we have developed a full platform dedicated to take care of our patient in the OR. And in such a way, we have something called the Hemerion solution, that is our main medical device product to be combined with our drug. And this is a fully integrated laser system to be used in the operating room. It really incorporates seamlessly in the workflow of the neurosurgeon, so we can expand the limit of brain surgery and thus to remove as much as possible of tumor cells that remains at the end of the surgery. I think Professor Adjipanais will comment on that part. And obviously, we have designed something completely automatic that compute the treatment regimen for all the patients. And at the end, we can offer a personalized patient treatment. So to summarize this approach, we improve the interventional oncology by combining this specific drug we have designed and the medical device laser we have built. So first, if I summarize our technology, during the first surgery of the patient, in only 30 minutes, we can treat the surgical border and remove as much as possible of the tumor cells that are the cause of the recurrence. So first, the patient receive our drug, namely pantalafen. That's the first part of the treatment. During the surgery, the neurosurgeon end the surgery, removing as much of possible of the tumor, and then go with this laser light technology to activate the photosensitizer. So at the end, only cancerous cells are destroyed and the LC tissue are spared. So this is a very game-changing approach, because if we compare to radiotherapy, for instance, radiotherapy kills any cells, LC cells, tumor cells. And so we wanted to focus on only tumor cells. And so for now, this approach fits into this standard of care. And maybe Marie-Edith, maybe if you want to introduce yourself and comment on the standard of care in this kind of pathology, please. So Marie-Edith is our Chief Medical Officer, and maybe a few words of introduction before introducing this standard of care for glioblastoma, please.
Yes, thank you, Max. Yes, I'm Dr. Marie Bonneterre. I'm a medical oncologist by training. I'm CMO to Hemerion Therapeutics. My background is about 10 years hospital practice and 25 years as a clinical development specialist in the pharma industry. So as Max proposed, I am happy to show you this graph that shows how the treatment fits into the standard of care. So the patient is diagnosed on an MRI basis initially for the disease of glioblastoma. It is not yet totally confirmed because the biopsy is done during surgery. The surgery integrates the drug and device treatment by Hemerion once the tumor is removed, and hopefully as maximally as possible. Once the tumor is removed, the Hemerion treatment takes place with photodynamic therapy. And then after that, you perform the adjuvant treatment which consists of radiation therapy together with temozolomide chemotherapy for 8 weeks. And then after that, it's followed by chemotherapy only, which is done for 12 weeks. And then after that, the patient is just clinically followed until recurrence or any other event. So this is only 30 minutes during the surgery, and the rest of the treatment is really the standard of care. So the patient does not have any inconvenience of additional duration of his treatment or additional burden. I hope that summarized a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you, Marie-Edith. Yes, and ultimately, for the moment, it fits into the standard of care, and ultimately, because we can do actually the same job as the radiotherapy once on the market, we should be able to replace, in some cases, radiotherapy. And that's a very game-changing approach in the management of cancer patients. So this is something we are also strategizing for the next. And so all this technology has already been evaluated in patients. So we have achieved 2 clinical trials in France, in Lille. And so we have currently a clinical trial enrolling in the US. And what we can see and what we have learned from this clinical trial is that first, we have completely de-risked this approach in the OR because there is a total absence of toxicity for our patients. We treated 23 patients in France without any serious adverse event or toxicity. But more interestingly, I should say, the preliminary efficacy results are never seen before results. Indeed, we have observed a median progression-free survival. It means that the time between the diagnosis and the first recurrence has been raised to 17 months with our technology. That is usually observed at less than 7 months. So this is a huge step in the management of the disease. The current standard of care only demonstrated 3-4 weeks of improvement. So more than 10 months of improvement is really a game changing in that domain. So that is a good signal that there are some new entrants in that domain, in that market. And so we have some different companies, French one, US one with Sonala Sense or Alpheus Medical. And the first learning we can have in having a look at this table is that combining a drug and a device seems to be a good way to tackle this kind of cancer. That's the first thing we can see on that. And the other thing that we can have in mind is that we are the only company that mastered both the drug and the device. All the other master only one component of this drug-device combination product. And also, we have the most advanced clinical program, both in the US and in Europe. So it makes us really different with a good advance in comparison to our competitor. So today, to run the company, we have a board of directors composed of very experienced people. So with Marie-Edith on board, Michel, who is our CFO, managing all the financial aspect and the administrative function, and Clément, who is a co-inventor of the technology and the CTO of the company, who is running all the industrialization process, because that's a fact. We are already on the industrialization process. So as I said before, we have been established since September 2020. Obviously, we have a fully patented technology with an exclusive license of using, and with an advanced clinical development. And we have already raised so far 7 million euros since the inception. Today, Hemerion is made of 13 people in 4 main departments, including quality and regulatory affairs for both medical device and drugs, and also clinical and medical affairs to run the clinical trials before the registration of our product. And we are working with top-notch physicians in the field worldwide, in the US, in Europe, and that's this board of scientists that helped us to manage our clinical trials, to evaluate our results in terms of efficacy, in terms of safety. So that's very, very appealing for them, for us, sorry, to have these guys on board, because it means that we really do the state-of-the-art neurosurgery. And so we are very on the good way to get on the market. And so, because we are talking of investment, we have some financial projections that are quite favorable for an exit in 2029, as we suggested in this fundraising proposal. And so our goal is to be on the market around 28, 29, and from that time, we should be able to suggest an exit for our investors, and so to have let's say multiple on their investments to be won. Today, as part
Max,
of yes,
Costas has joined us. I don't know if you
oh
saw.
great, yes, I can see him.
Hello, Costas.
Hi, Costas.
Hello,
You're on
everybody.
mute. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So maybe we will come back on the fundraising side, and let's talk about science a little bit with Costas. Could you maybe introduce yourself, Costas?
Yeah, so welcome everybody. I am a neurosurgical oncologist at the University of Pittsburgh. I serve multiple roles here, and one of them is co-directing our brain tumor program and also directing our Center for Image-Guided Neurosurgery. And, you know, we're really excited about this new trial here in the United States. You know, Dr. Rains and Mermandel in Europe have really, you know, helped us launch this here in the United States in Pittsburgh, and we've treated multiple patients now successfully. So this is a very neat technology I'm particularly excited about, since I've had a lot to do with the early adoption of fluorescence-guided surgery with 5-ALA in the US. So this is a natural extension of that technology, kind of moving between diagnostic intraoperative visualization to now intraoperative therapy, utilizing basically the same drug that's administered orally, now called pentalophen. So, you know, kind of a new approach that allows the neurosurgeon to be more involved with the therapy side of things for glioblastoma, where
yes,
traditionally we were, you know, involved with just the surgery. So those are some of my thoughts, and you know, it's been a pleasure to work with the Hemerion company, you know, launching this trial here in the US.
Yes, thank you, Costas. Thank you for joining us during this webinar to introduce our company and our project. Maybe, Daniel, you have some question to ask to
I do
Professor
actually.
Japanese?
Absolutely. Hi, Costas. I'm Daniel. I'm the director of Capital Cell, supporting Hemerion's fundraise. Really pleased that you're here. I understand how busy you must be, so thanks a lot for making time for this. And I had a really simple question for you, but in the meantime, we have a relatively complex technical question that came from an investor. So I'm going to also launch it. But the question I wanted to ask is, you have been supporting the Hemerion technology for a while now. You've tested it. How do you see its path to adoption as I don't know if as standard of care, but what do you think is going to be its place in the market?
Well, the nice thing that the platform that Hemerion provides for intraoperative PDT is that it's very straightforward to use. And one of the things that I always, you know, feel is important is that neurosurgeons want to use technologies that can be used in a straightforward manner. It's not complicated. It's very practical and very reproducible. And I think that's the attractive nature to this. And it's something that we as neurosurgeons are going to be in charge of in the operating room as one part of their actual therapy, in addition to the surgery, which is what we've traditionally played as roles. So I think this is going to be, you know, an excellent addition to our armamentarium for glioblastoma, based on some of the long-term follow-up studies that were recently published, by the Lille group in their patients undergoing PDT.
Excellent. And I have another question. This one is not mine. You're going to see that the question is far beyond my powers. I'm but a humble biologist. But we have a question from one of our investors about the study and the type of tumor resection that you're using for the trial. So as an introduction, so there are different types of resection: tumor resection, supratotal, which is removing I understand the tumor and more, the gross total resection, subtotal resection, biopsy, etc., etc. And the question, if you could clarify the type of resection that's being performed in the ongoing trial, and well, if that would be the first part of the question. There is a second question, which it would be important to know if Hemerion will be compatible with non-total resections.
Yeah, no, I mean, when we go in to do our surgeries, we're always trying to do maximal safe resection. So what does that mean? Well, we want to take out as much of the tumor as we can with preserving neurologic function. So, in some instances, the tumor is intimately involved with important pathways that we need to avoid. And fluorescence-guided surgery has really helped us visualize those tumor regions. And then we use our standard technologies, such as brain mapping in the operating room, to really identify those pathways so we could stay away. So, the goal is always to take out as much of the tumor as possible. Now, in certain parts of the brain, like the right frontal lobe, we have tried to do supratotal resections, where we go after, more than what we can see in the operating room. But with 5-ALA fluorescence-guided surgery, it's really allowed us to do, pretty aggressive surgeries in most of our patients if we're able to, resect most of the fluorescent tissue. So, again, in some instances, we just can't do it because there's important pathways, language, motor, etc., in the way that we need to be conscious of.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the question is more than answered. And anyway, if there are, so we normally ask investors to come live and ask the questions by voice, so there can be a discussion. In this case, Max, if there are any further questions after that.
Well, there's a couple other ones here. Can it be used for other types of brain tumors? Can it be used during awake surgery? So the answer, right now is that it's, 5-ALA is approved for high-grade gliomas, and I think the indication that Hemerion, they can discuss this more, is for GBM, but definitely during awake surgery, because we just put the patient to sleep during the PDT portion of the procedure. And as you are probably hearing about some of the long-term outcomes of these patients from the original trial in France, there's a 40% 5-year survival in that study. Now, those patients did go on to get other types of treatments, but still 40% 5-year survival is pretty interesting for this type of therapy intraoperatively.
It certainly is. And actually, we're going to open the floor for questions, but before, the gates are open and we get more and more questions, so before the Q&A, just to also, because I'm conscious of time for you, I understand that you can't stay for the whole of the session, if that is correct. I would like to ask.
Yeah, I'm in clinic. Yeah, so but I could stay for a few, for a little bit longer to answer questions.
Just a quick question. So, how much of the glioblastoma? So, I was going to use the word market. Sorry, that's an investor, bad word. But how many of the glioblastoma patients do you think are going to be eligible for treatment with the Hemerion technology? All of them?
I think most of them will be. I mean, I think the way that the technology is designed, it seems like we can treat intraoperatively most of those tumors with photodynamic therapy. So, the range of balloon diameters that can be used is adjustable, and I think the technology really, opens it up to a variety of GBM tumors that we could treat now.
Great. So, Max, we're probably going to go already into the Q&A phase. Is there, if there is anything else you would like to ask Costas or discuss with him? If not, we can just move into the questions.
No, I think he presented most of the specificities of our technology. So I've seen some, I see some question I can answer, and Marie-Edith can as well. Maybe just because we have just started to use our, let's say, our product in the US with Professor Jipanai. So maybe I can show you the first case he did in the US a few months ago alongside this clinical trial enrollment. So I don't know. Let me know if you see my screen or not.
We see the first. No, we don't see the screen anymore.
Yes, I have some PowerPoint issue, but it will be fine.
So
okay.
While Max is saying this, we are now going to open the floor for questions.
First
okay.
Part of the video.
So we can can comment.
The video is on.
So we can observe that the device was very easy to fit into this operating room with this approach. So it was the first time this technology was used in the US, and I would say even first time in the world, because it was a completely new product. It was quite different from the one used in France, and so it was a great opportunity to evaluate our technology. So just to show you what it's like in the UR. So I'm done with it, and actually we can move to the Q&A session.
Sure. So let me just lay out. I'm sure this is the first time for many people here, maybe including me, I've seen the inside of a brain. That's clearly not the case for you guys. So for the Q&A, you can ask your questions via the Q&A tool that Zoom has. You can type them in the chat, or if you want, you may raise your hand. We're happy to just read the questions in the Q&A, but if you'd prefer to be, given the microphone and ask the question in your own voice and maybe have a back and forth with the team, just raise your hand or let us know, and we'll. So my colleague Ramon will just give you the option to ask the question live. We're going to go with reading the questions that are already here. So how transferable? Question from Susbatka, how transferable is this technology to other cancer treatments?
Yes.
Maybe that's a good one for Marie-Edith.
Yeah. Yes, we believe, as Costas said, that we believe that first we can move from glioblastoma to potentially other tumors of the CNS, of the central nervous system, but also we do have reasons to think that it will be easily applicable to other tumors, such as head and neck cancers, some of them, and digestive cancers. There's a very high potential for surgically accessible tumors.
Yes, I can just add that we have some feedback on that. The active principle that is used, that is called 5LA, has been used so far in fluorescence guided resection in head and neck cancers, especially. I think that's a partnership you had with one of your colleagues in New York, Costas. But it seems that
yes.
this approach is also usable with this kind of cancer. You want to comment, Costas, on that, on the head and neck cancer approach?
I think there are other. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah. Anyways, I think there are other types that are exciting right now that are being explored for 5-ALA use for fluorescence guided surgery. One is the head and neck cancer group, which includes a number of cancer types, squamous cell, some other types in that area. And then the other one is ovarian cancer, which is undergoing a randomized study for 5-ALA fluorescence guided surgery. So I think there's going to be other tumor types as well, such as meningiomas that'll be approved soon, which could be a good market for PDT, especially the recurrent meningiomas we just don't have solutions for.
Yes, true. Thank you. And so yes, that's something we are working on to be included in our development pipeline. So for instance, we are considering some for the GBM recurrence, but also probably meningioma or an neck cancer in our pipeline soon.
Okay, great. I have another question from Mr. Prats. So can it be used for other type of brain tumors? I think that's covered. Can it be used during awake surgery?
Covered also? Costas
Covered also, yes. Yeah. Yes, yeah, we can.
Yeah, we answered that already. Yeah.
Ah, true. Sorry. And share data related to efficacy. Is that data available?
Yes, we have some preliminary data on efficacy as presented during the presentation. Today, we know that we have a median PFS of more than 17 months. And what we have observed is that, for instance, at 6 months, we have 100% of patients was not recurred. That is not common. And so we have some data collected alongside our 2 previous clinical trials. And now we are collecting some more data in the US, but it's too soon to have some efficacy data from that new clinical trial, obviously. And so anyway, altogether, it should help us to move forward our registration study that hopefully will start in 2025.
Okay, thanks. And then we have a multi-question about the phase 1 trial. Sample size, IC95 of the main results, time after surgery for recurrence, and inclusion criteria. Is that something you can answer here live?
Sample size for the first clinical trial was 10 plus 12 on the second one. So we have treated so far 22 patients in France. So the data I shared with you on the efficacy result, preliminary efficacy result, are on 22 cases. I don't have the IC 95% in mind. Sorry, I should talk to my biostatistician. But
I told you some questions might be a bit complicated.
Yeah. That's fine. Inclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria. Actually, it was patient amenable to surgery with the intention of maximal resection. That was our main criteria. So it means that any patient eligible to surgery in Lille was oriented to this kind of clinical trial. And that's it, I think.
Okay, good. And for the moment, we don't have any more questions. I don't know if someone else would like to ask a question. I did want to, because normally the questions come after we have talked also about the investment rounds and the money part, which we didn't get too much time to go into. So although it kind of breaks the standard order of things here.
That's what we do. We break the standard, and so we break the standard of care for patients.
You're quick, Max. That's...
So maybe that's time to release Costas, and
okay.
So you can be back for. Thank you very much, Costas.
Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah,
and I know that we will be talking soon.
Yes, we will.
Really appreciate your time, Costas. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Also, I just wanted to add that I have captured the number of the protocol, the NCT number, for those of you who want to see more details.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Well, obviously, for everyone on the session, you know that both the Capital Cell and the Hemerion team are extremely easy to approach, and any other questions or any of the data that is non-confidential, obviously, can be shared freely. And for confidential data, I'm pretty sure that you can have a chat with the Hemerion team and see about how to share it. So Max, is it okay if we sort of rewind back to your presentation and describe the investment rounds?
Yeah, sure. Let me go
Because
back.
I think that I would like to, well, I would like to make sure that people understand how the investment works, what they can get out of it. So you can get the presentation back. In the meantime, for those of you who don't know how Capital Cell works or what we do here, I'll just have my 2 minutes here. So Capital Cell is the platform that Hemerion has chosen for the fundraise. What we're bringing is the guarantee from Capital Cell that we have analyzed this company. So Capital Cell is the leading European platform for private investment in biotechnology. We work with a group of experts, with a group of analysts to make sure that we can bring opportunities to you where you can invest via a platform in a way that is extremely easy. So the process of buying shares in the company is basically, if you can buy your groceries online, you can buy shares in Hemerion. It's extremely easy. You can invest any amount of money you want, so it's not a fixed ticket. You can invest, I think the minimum ticket is 1,000, if I can remember correctly, up to whatever you want. So you decide the amount you want to invest. And from Capital Cell, we guarantee that the process is easy, transparent, that the company has been analyzed, there's a due diligence behind it, there's information that you can ask if you want, and that you're going to invest in such a way that you will be not taxed on your profits in the future if the company is successful, and that if you're lucky enough to be a tax resident in France, in this case, you can invest in this company with a tax break under the project. Can you remind me what exactly is the jeune entreprise? Which one for you?
Both are okay for us. It's jeune entreprise innovante et jeune entreprise innovante de recherche. So both works, and one the condition is quite different. The one is 30% that can be spared into different years of tax in France, and the second was in GEIR. It is 50% of the investment that is given back by the Minister of Finance, but in one shoot.
Okay, so that's our role here, to facilitate the access and to guarantee that the operation of investment in Hemerion is accessible to everyone, clean, transparent, and solid. And as for the investment opportunity, maybe Max, it's if you want to share your screen again and explain how the round works.
Okay, you can see my screen or not?
No, it disappeared. We could before, but then I started talking and it disappeared.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I can see it now.
Yes, so just a little bit of equity story first. So it's not our first round. We were incorporated in 2020, so we had one pre-seed and one seed round. So we gathered more than 7 million euro, both in dilutive and non-dilutive. That's a nice thing also, that we are eligible to many European subvention subsidies, so it's fine for us. So and it helps to move forward, to accelerate on the clinical trial. And so for this round, it include into a 5-6 million euro round that is expected to help the next phases of our project. So we have our clinical trial in the US that is already financed. So that's not the topic, but we with this 5 million globally collected, we will move forward with our registration study preparation, and that's the big next thing we will be able to do with this fundraising. And so the fund raised through Capital Cell will join some investments made, by venture capitalist firms that are expert in that domain. And so we have almost more than 3.5 million committed in that fundraising. So accumulated with a project with Capital Cells, we should get to the 5 million needed to move forward. And so at that time, we will be able to start our registration study in 2025 with the ambition to get on the market in 2029. And that's why we are advising an exit at that time in 2029. And so you have here some kind of split of the budget for the next registration process we are starting now.
Could you give Max perhaps some details about the expected exit? So we are now investing at a valuation. Could you
23,
and
24, I think.
And
yeah.
So what's the expectations for the market value? So what can an investor expect to happen if the project is successful?
So we have many events that can lead to an exit. Actually, we have 3 of them, and the 3 are I think interesting. The first one is once we'll get on the market in 2029, we will need to secure more money for the market launch globally, mainly in the US and in Europe. And for that, one of the solutions will be to become public. And so the IPO might be a way for our investors to exit from the shareholding part of the story. That's one. And so we have some previous success we have seen some previous success on this way. Another one is in obviously to be acquired by a major company, a strategic company on that field. And so we know that in this domain, we have some big players that could be interested in our technology so far. So this is one of the possibilities. And the third one is an M&A. It means that we could have some other capital investors, bigger, that would like to finance the growth of the company for the market launch and the market to have a bigger market share. And in this way, it means that the historical investor will be will have their shares buyout.
And I know that it's maybe too much to ask, but they haven't maybe a comparison with similar companies that have been acquired. So what's the expectation of value gain for the investor here?
So it's a multiple between us. I would say at that time, as we have shown on the website, it's almost 15 to 19, because we have seen that if some company on that specific field, for instance, NovoCure, had a successful IPO and with a market cap very impressive. So it's not unusual to see that we can have this kind of multiple. So on the Capital Cell landing page, I think we claim something near 20. So it could be the multiple.
You're on mute now, Daniel.
Oh, sorry. I'm on mute?
No, Max, you're fine. Just
yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
was on mute. Sorry. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. I don't think I'm going to have any more questions, and I think that unless we have one last minute question from the audience, I think that we can probably end the session here. We've covered, I think, pretty much everything. You've shared some pretty exciting results, and I think that we've all been quite impressed with having, one of the foremost specialists in brain cancer in the US here. Another day you'll tell me how you've convinced him to, because typically when they do that, it's between surgeries almost. It's so thanks a lot for the effort, Max, and thank
you,
Costas, again for being here. For everyone else, we're going to close the session here. If you have any more questions or any more doubts, there is a ton of information on the Capital Cells campaign site for Hemerion. There is even more information on Hemerion's website. And as I said, both the Spanish, French team of Capital Cell, Spanish-speaking, French-speaking, and English-speaking team of Capital Cell is available for you. And Max and his team will also be delighted if you reach out to them. The last minute is for you, Max and Marie, and then we'll shut down.
Okay, no, thank you. It was a pleasure to introduce the company. I mean, it's a nice opportunity for us to share our technology and to invite more people to come into our journey, because it's very exciting. And so we are moving the borders of cancer therapies. And so to be part of that, I mean, I think that's the right time to get on the boat with us. So yes, nothing more to say. I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, so thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Maybe Marie-Edith, you want the
Yes.
final
Just
one?
to share that we will be presenting some results at the upcoming Neuro-Oncology Congress in Houston in November. So if people are there, you're welcome to join us, to meet us, and we'll be happy to share some new results.
Yes, and
well, thanks. Very good. Good luck in Houston. It's a tough crowd, so
yes.
Good luck with that.
Yes, that's a good one, and so we will have the opportunity to meet some other KOL in that domain. So it's very, very exciting. Hey, maybe something I can add on the process about due diligence and so far. So you presented that we were well noted on the website and by your team, and obviously we go through many due diligence from VCs that have invested in the company. That's a really, let's say, convincing point. So it means all the company files are really clear and validated by VCs. So could be a good point for your capital cell investors.
Every time I see a company that has 3 VCs on the cap table, I think, well, the company definitely is clean. But I'm sure you hate the reporting, but there's a lot of it.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely. And we're more than happy to be investing alongside CapCenter for the first time in this operation. Obviously, for us, it's always a lot better if we can offer investors companies that have gone through our due diligence, but through someone else's too. And in that case, I know how tough it can be with VCs. So yeah, definitely. If you had something to hide, someone had found it out yet.
Yeah, sure.
So thanks very much.
Especially regarding the results. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye.